Meet Midjourney. Today we meet a faster way to create powerful visuals and enhance your storytelling with images, keeping it all consistent and appealing. Midjourney is an AI tool that generates images from your written request. That's how your design story begins, without complex software, without brushes, just prompts. How does it work? You can use Midjourney in two main ways. In the Midjourney web app, where you type your prompt into the Imagine bar, or on Discord, where you talk to the Midjourney bot with commands. In this guide, we'll focus on the web app, which offers a cleaner interface, visual settings, and organized workspaces. Great job! See? The way you get results from the tool is simple. You describe what you want. Midjourney creates stunning art from your words. Whether it's social media content, product concepts, or digital illustration, the tool has you covered. Navigating the interface. When you open Midjourney, you'll see the Imagine bar above. This is where you type your prompts, like the one you just created. In the Explore tab, you'll find the works of other users to get inspired. And in the Create tab, your own art. As you've already noticed, once you enter your request, Midjourney gives you 4 options at a time. It's like having 4 artists paint your idea simultaneously. Editing your result. Let's say you've actually generated 4 sunset pictures. They are okay, but not exactly what you wanted. Once you hover over any of them, you'll see buttons for quick changes. V-Subtle creates a variation of the selected image that stays very close to the original. V-Strong, larger changes in composition, shape, style, or mood. Animate and generates a short animation based on the image. You can find the same commands and even more if you click on any image in the bottom right corner. Creation actions. You can use this panel to set up and control. Image variations. Create subtle or stronger alternate versions without changing the core idea. Upscaling. Increase resolution and detail, either conservatively or with a more creative touch. Reruns and edits. Regenerate the image or make targeted adjustments without rewriting everything. Reuse options. Apply the same image, style, or prompt as a starting point for a new generation. Animation settings. Motion intensity. Choose between low or high movement for calmer loops or more dynamic results. Loop behavior. Control how the animation repeats for a seamless or expressive effect. There are even more customization and modification capabilities in Midjourney. We will learn more about them in future lessons. However, you don't just make changes by hitting buttons in this tool. Great art starts with even greater prompts. The importance of prompts. Prompts are the way of telling AI exactly what you want. Subject, mood, lighting, still, even camera angle. Change one word and your image can go from okay to award-winning or vice versa. What is the main reason these two images look so different? The lighting words changed. The setting changed. The subject changed. The prompt used a completely different style. What is the main reason these two images look so fine-tuning your prompts? Well done, you have just created your first AI art. Midjourney always gives you 4 versions, so you can pick one and refine it. Choose the image that fits best, and you can upscale or reimagine it for more detail. The more you experiment, the more control you'll gain. In the following lessons, you'll learn how to adjust aspect ratios, lighting, and even artistic style. That's when the real magic begins. A few early lessons. Be specific. Details shape direction. Experiment. Some of your best results will be happy accidents. Refine. Reprompt until it feels right. Perfection is just iteration done well. Conclusion. That's your first step into the world of AI art. You now know what Midjourney is, how to use it, and how to write your first prompt. From here, it only gets more exciting. Next steps. In the next lesson, we'll create your first AI art together and start shaping your unique visual style. And remember, Midjourney doesn't make art for you. It makes art with you. Stay curious. Crafting images with precision. You've already seen how Midjourney turns simple words into visual stories. Today, you'll take the next step, learning how the phrasing of your prompt and changes in it can completely reshape your results. Let's discover what makes a good prompt and how to get exactly what you want from the tool. Choosing the right words. Suppose you are creating an illustrated book of fairy tales that you can later sell online or give as a gift to children. The text goes, "A tall castle rises above the valley as the sun begins to climb." You want to show the valley and the skyscraping castle towers. The image should feel dramatic, magical, and full of height. Use exact quantities. Another tip for clarity in your prompts: avoid vague plurals. Flowers. Open to interpretation. 12 flowers arranged in a circle. Clear composition. You can also use collective terms like a cluster of lanterns instead of simply lanterns. More prompting pitfalls. Let's now look at some more tricky parts that might affect your result. Imagine you are preparing a productivity guideline for your team and need a clean workspace shot. You want something tidy, simple, and visually calm. For example, here is how the no parameter works in our clean desk setup request. A desk setup? No clutter. We will explore more parameters in future lessons. You don't always need many details in your prompts. They can stay minimal. Even a couple of words or emojis work. When you keep things short, Midjourney relies more on its default style to complete the image. If certain elements matter to you, include them. The fewer details you specify, the more variety you get, but you also lose control over the final result. Adding layers to the prompt. To get straight to the point, you need to include all important details, but you should do it the right way. Imagine you want to build an illustrated wildlife guide for junior school children. You need to show a baby deer lying safely while two bluebirds watch from a branch above. soft forest morning light, gentle cartoonish style. What do you think? Did the generated images hit the target? Can't tell because morning light is confusing. Yes, it perfectly matches the intent. No, something feels off. Which problems in the prompt could lead to faults in the result? Using morning light in the forest. Not enough placement and location details. Ambiguous relationship between the subjects. Conflicting styles, realistic and cartoon at the same time. And viewpoints. Close and wide shot. Does this refined prompt suit the intended target and scene you were supposed to illustrate? Not really, it still lacks important details. No, it's too simple to work well. Yes, it aligns perfectly. Why this works? This prompt works because each detail reinforces a calm, child-friendly illustration. Clear subject. The baby deer is the focus. Defined relationship. Bluebirds above. No blending or confusion. Simple environment. Forest clearing keeps the scene readable. Unified style. Soft cartoon look matches the gentle tone. Consistent mood. Morning light adds warmth. Single viewpoint. Wide shot keeps all elements in frame naturally. Together, these choices guide Midjourney toward a clean, coherent result. From words to visual control. Prompting isn't about crowding the prompt with details. It's about making purposeful choices. Whether you're illustrating stories, designing products, or creating visuals for fun, the same rules apply. Choose the right words, add the right details, and keep everything aligned. Great job! You've learned how to sharpen your wording, avoid common pitfalls, and build prompts that match your target outcomes. These fundamentals give you real control and help Midjourney understand the story you're trying to tell. You're ready for more. In the next lesson, we'll go deeper into lighting, how to shape it, adjust it, and use it to guide mood and composition. With the right lighting choices, your images will become richer, clearer, and even more intentional. You're building a strong creative toolkit. Let's keep going. Transform your AI. Art with lighting. Imagine this. You enter Midjourney with a strong subject in mind, but the output feels flat. The shapes are there, yet the emotion is missing. Often the missing ingredient is lighting, the element that quietly controls depth, mood, and realism. Today, you'll explore how small lighting choices change the story your image tells. Lighting isn't just about brightness. It's what shapes emotion and focus. Let's look at how direction, shadows, and intensity help your images tell a story step by step. What effect did the side light bring to the image? It added some drama. It didn't impact the atmosphere in any way, and it softened the atmosphere. What changes did you notice this time? The images are glowing more this time. The images look softer. None. See? Even small shifts in the direction of light can completely change the focus and emotion. Using shadows. Shadows reveal structure and balance, and without them, even the best composition feels flat. Try changing the shadow length or contrast to see how the mood transforms. Which group of images feels more gentle and natural? As your next step, consider the intensity of the light. It changes mood faster than any filter. Too strong, and you lose detail. Too dim, and you lose the story. Experimenting with intensity. Test everything. Harsh sunlight, foggy dusk, candlelight glow. You'll see how brightness shifts emotion from warm and welcoming to eerie or powerful. Practicing with lighting effects. Ready to put it all together? Let's combine what you've learned: direction, shadows, and intensity. Refining your lighting prompts. See what we did there? We didn't define the light intensity explicitly, but we mentioned the time of day, and Midjourney made the light intensity appear like it would at sunset. Which of the following techniques can subtly enhance lighting in your Midjourney prompts? Choosing shadow effects that match the mood. Mentioning the light source indirectly, e.g. the sunset, sham candlelight. leaving lighting out to let AI choose creatively, combining intensity with direction for a clearer result. One more lesson done. You've just learned how to use lighting to shape depth, tone, and emotion. Direction defines focus, shadows add realism, and intensity builds atmosphere. Next steps. Next up, elements that affect your image's composition. Image size and angle of view. Time to make your light work with your layout. Stay creative, and see you soon. Small settings, big creative impact. Greetings. Today you'll continue enhancing your Midjourney prompting skills. In this lesson, you'll uncover how to create images with different image sizes, and how choosing the right aspect ratio can instantly change the composition, mood, and purpose of your visuals. Let's go! Why image size matters. Image size in Midjourney isn't just a technical detail, it's the foundation of your entire scene. When you choose an image size in Midjourney, you're actually choosing the aspect ratio, the relationship between width and height. It shapes how much of a scene fits into the frame, how your composition flows, and even how the viewer reads the image. How aspect ratios work in Midjourney. Midjourney lets you define aspect ratios in two ways. One, through the image size setting in the interface, which adjusts the aspect ratio automatically. Two, by adding the AR parameter at the end of your prompt. For example, AR 3.2. Both methods tell Midjourney exactly how the frame should be shaped before anything else is generated. Practicing with aspect ratios. Imagine a client reaches out, asking for visuals for a winter mountain resort. Their first request? Beautiful images for social media posts. Something flexible that you can reuse on various platforms. For this kind of universal post, a default one-to-one image works perfectly, clean, centered, and platform-friendly across almost every feed. The images look great, but you know how social media works? Short stories are just as important as feed posts. Your client now wants a few visuals they can use for Instagram stories. Your client loves how the images turned out. Now they also want visuals for their website, something they can showcase in a photo gallery to inspire guests to book their cozy mountain houses. Let's change the aspect ratio accordingly. What effect did you notice from using the same prompt with different aspect ratios? Only the image's resolution changed, not the composition. Aspect ratio affected the colors and style of the pictures. The frame shape changed how the scene was composed and what stood out. Why aspect ratio matters. The aspect ratio is the first constraint Midjourney uses to imagine your scene. A tight, tall frame forces focus. A wide, panoramic frame creates room for atmosphere. A square frame keeps everything centered and balanced. Once you set the ratio, details adapt to that shape, which is why selecting it intentionally leads to cleaner, more purposeful images. Size shapes the frame. Now that you understand how aspect ratios control the shape and flow of your scene, you've unlocked the first layer of image composition. Image size defines the boundaries of your world, what fits inside, what gets cropped, and how the viewer begins reading the scene, from shape to perspective. In the next lesson, you'll learn how to guide where the viewer stands inside that frame, using different viewpoints. Stay tuned for more tips on enhancing your visual storytelling skills. Direct the camera, shape the story. Welcome back. Today you'll learn how to guide Midjourney by choosing the viewpoint, the angle and distance from which your scene is observed. This single choice can turn a simple image into something dramatic, intimate, or cinematic. Let's explore how positioning the camera transforms your results. Why view matters. Viewpoint tells Midjourney where the viewer stands in the scene. A low angle makes subjects feel powerful. A high angle makes them feel small or cinematic. A close viewpoint pulls the viewer into the moment. A distant one builds context and space. By choosing the viewpoint intentionally, you control emotion, focus, and narrative. Setting view in your prompt. You can guide Midjourney by indicating the camera position directly in your prompt. From a low angle, bird's eye view, eye level, close-up portrait, wide shot from a distance. These cues help the model frame your subject with purpose, instead of relying on its default perspective. Practicing with viewpoints. Remember your client from the previous lesson? They absolutely love the images you created for their website and social media. Now, with the holiday season approaching, they want you to design postcards their guests can send home. The postcards should feel like a painting of the resort, warm, inviting, and showing how cozy the houses look nestled between snowy mountain peaks. Speaking of the previous lesson, what aspect ratio works best for postcards? 16.9, 3:2, 2.1. Amazing job! Now, let's create some variety in postcard design by trying out some other viewpoints. What differences did you notice between the bird's eye view and the close-up, ground level, or eye level images? The aspect ratio completely changed the colors. The close-up emphasized details and textures. The bird's eye view showed more of the environment. The viewer's emotional distance changed. Why view matters. View shapes emotion before lighting or color do. A low viewpoint feels dramatic. A top-down shot feels observational. A close-up feels personal. By setting the viewpoint intentionally, you decide what the viewer notices first and how they feel about it. Wrapping up, you've now seen how viewpoint controls distance, emotion, and focus. A single change, from bird's eye to close-up, can shift your entire story. When you choose the angle with intention, you guide what the viewer feels and where their attention lands. This is what turns a simple scene into a meaningful composition. What comes next? Now that you can guide the composition of a scene, the next step is shaping how that scene feels. In the upcoming lessons, you'll explore how to influence Midjourney's artistic decisions, from gritty realism to soft illustration, using style cues and creative parameters. See you there.